Is the government's approach working? Well, the entrepreneur and founder of Phones for You, John Caudwell, thinks there should be much more support for business, including billions more investment at a time of extraordinarily low interest rates. And he joins me now. John Caudwell, welcome to you. You've got 4 priorities here. Briefly talk me through them, if you would, please.
Yes, good morning, Ian. It's under an initiative that I call Caudwell Pandemic Recovery, wisely named because it's CPR, and we're about rescuing the patient here. And those 4 areas are fundamentally to try and get all young people back to work in an apprenticeship scheme. And I think that might require between 500,000 and 1 million new apprenticeship schemes to be launched in the UK. The second point is a renewable energy city, which I'm talking to the mayor of Teesside, Ben Hoochin, on this, because he's apparently trying to do something very similar to that within Teesside. That renewable energy city could be really instrumental in 2 ways. One is for us to become the world leader in renewable energy and environmentally friendly activities, which not only then has the benefit of being able to export our technology and products all over the world and generate hundreds of thousands of jobs, but of course, it's the big issue of today. After this pandemic, the environment is the #1 issue that has to be addressed rapidly and dynamically. The third part is general infrastructure in the UK, so that as trade begins to pick up and our GDP grows, the infrastructure doesn't slow us down at all. And the final part is inward investment and attracting inward investment from all foreign companies to try and get them to locate on our shores. That might require all sorts of activities, and it's one of the reasons why our sovereignty on a Brexit deal is so crucial, because without that sovereignty, the EU courts will be able to potentially control what we do on this, making inward investment attractive to foreign companies.
And the proposals you're making, John, would this stimulate private activity? Because it seems to me in some cases it might displace it.
No, it won't displace it. It could complement it, because private activity could get involved with all of these initiatives in order to invest in them and complement what the government are doing. But, you know, this cannot be done alone by private business. This has to be done by government, because the UK has hemorrhaged, like most other countries under this pandemic, hemorrhaged with jobs, hemorrhaged with businesses going out of business, and it desperately needs massive stimulation. And of course, at this time, we can afford to do that because interest rates are incredibly low, tending towards negative interest rates rather than positive. And in my forecast, will remain like that for many, many, many years to come.
Quite so. But I mean, implicit in what you're saying here, you've talked about the need to borrow up to £1 trillion, which would be a 50% increase on the national debt. It's all very well borrowing when interest rates are low. If rates have to go higher, then the government is in trouble very quickly.
Yes, well, interest rates can't really go higher, because if you look at why interest rates go higher traditionally, it's generally to keep inflation down and to prevent bubbles, economic bubbles from developing.
Yeah, a lot of people think inflation might go up next year.
I'm sorry?
A lot of people think inflation might go up next year.
Well, and they may be right, but if it does, it'll be a tiny amount, and it will only be as a result of tariffs from Europe. You know, the fundamental fact is that there's a huge deflationary pressure on the UK if you ignore Brexit. Of course, pumping money into the UK, into people's pockets will have an inflationary tendency, but I'm not talking about putting money into people's pockets. I'm talking about putting money into capex projects that will create jobs and take these 3 million people off the dole. 3 million is my forecast. Take these 3 million people off the dole and give them a future and a job and self-respect and pride, and be there to dynamically help improve the GDP of the UK for the years to come.
All right, John Caudwell, very good to talk to you again. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Pleasure, Ian.